Welcome, everyone. The records are now open. Welcome to this week's episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. Let's blow up some algorithms when you get here. Say hello to me. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And here's the deal. We're going to jam for the next half hour together. And if you've ever wondered what it would look like to experience your life where you understand the deeper meaning of what's happening to you, you're in the right place. That's what we are going to use the Akashic Records for today. And I'm super excited. I see Charles in the house, Sacred Divine Living, Earth Heart, welcome on Instagram. I am Canine Crazy. So good to see you all here. T Mamo, I see you here. Say hello to me once you get here on StreamYard. All right, so here's the deal. If you are in that place of, man, it would be really helpful if everything made sense in my life. I'm with you. You bet it would. You need the ability to see what is unseen, especially right now as we are navigating the ever-changing complexities of the transformation that's happening here on this planet. And once you tap in, you learn to see what is unseen. You get smart at this game. Okay. You get smart at whipping the matrix's ass, y'all. You start to see the places where you have been oppressed, where you have chosen to play small. We have to take responsibility for absolutely everything that we are creating and what we are experiencing. But once you see it, most of the things that we are miscreating, those things that you don't really want to take responsibility for. You want to be somebody else's fault. But once we learn to tap in and we learn to see these patterns, we take ownership of them. That's what allows us to shift and change them. Because really there's a part of us that is hurt, that still has trauma, insecurities, areas to heal, areas to step into a higher bandwidth of our power and potential. So that's why it's important to do the self-reflection, do the work. This is the Jedi level work that's going to make you extra fantastic when it comes to stepping into your potential. Because see, all of these dense patterns, these subconscious patterns, meaning that they're happening below our awareness. That's what subconscious means, happening below our awareness, on autopilot, on repeat. It's our reaction mode. Right? Once we bring these things from subconscious into consciousness, we really start stepping into our power because we're releasing density. We're carrying around so much density from these traumas that we don't even realize. Our soft tissues are carrying it. It's in the field of our memory. So once we clear this, when we remember who we are and what is possible, that's when we start to shift and heal. We see physical healing in our life. We see healing in our relationships. Including your relationship to money, your wealth shifts and changes, your clarity about soul, mission, and purpose shifts and changes. And so I want to share that with you all today. That was my experience when I learned how to read the Akashic Records. Before I did this, I was a Hollywood actress, and starting out as a Hollywood actress, to be honest with you guys, I wasn't nearly as good in actuality as I was in my head. So once I recognized, dude, girl, you need to work. You kind of suck. I started taking my training really seriously. And that not only included acting training, but it also included metaphysical training, yoga, qigong, tai chi, things that really calmed my mind, calmed my energy field, allowed me to sync up human Emily into my potential. And I started getting more and more and more and more acting jobs. But truly, the more acting jobs I got, also the more acting jobs I didn't get. This was a numbers game. And I got to the point where I'm getting beat out by Reese Witherspoon and Keira Knightley. And like, who are some of the other ones that got me? Oh, Anna Paquin. Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. And I was really frustrated. I felt depressed. I felt overwhelmed as a mom of 3. I was running from some trauma in my marriage. And so I definitely had this depression and anxiety that was working in my field, right? And as I followed what was my passion at that point in time, like the only reprieve that I felt was doing meditations, learning about metaphysics, practicing different healing techniques, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. If you've gone through or are currently going through your self-sponge phase where you just want to get your hands on everything, right? So yeah, I was going through this phase too. And the more I didn't follow my passion, the more depressed I got. And the more I did follow this passion, the more alive I became. And I had a circumstance, a chance, synchronicity, opportunity to work with a friend one time who had injured himself. Definitely didn't call myself an energy healer at this point in time, but was willing to wing it. And holy cow, what shifted, what changed in the field for both of us was incredible. His father, who had passed, came through, and I was able to facilitate a message that brought healing into his heart, his body right there, into my heart and body. And I thought, dude, this is it. This is way better than any acting role that I could ever play. I got to figure out, how do I ignite this fire in people to recognize that we have more potential than we're using. And when we tap into it, we can begin to heal ourselves. And the Akashic Records are what made sense to me. I loved mediumship. I loved healing. I loved past lives, future lives, astral travel. I loved the idea of timeline jumping. Like all the Jedi training is what I wanted. So the Akashic Records, if you are new, this is the realm of consciousness that holds all information, past, present, all possible futures, and is recorded from a neutral perspective. Not only does this record hold every detail of your soul and all of your incarnations, but truly every person, place, thing has an Akashic record, and we can tap in and begin to get knowledge and information and insight. And I thought this was going to be perfect. So I started the training, and of course, I wanted to help myself. I wanted to help other people too. I thought that this was going to be my new career path. I was going to help other people. What I wasn't expecting was just how much I helped myself. Literally, you all, every single thing in my life started making sense. Every trauma I had experienced, every acting job that I had missed, every place in my life where I was saying, why? It made sense. The bigger divine plan began to make sense. So I'm excited to share this with you all today. I want you to light up my chat box with questions, okay? This is how the Akashic Records work. The Akashic Records work by what's known as invitation only. This doesn't mean that the records only invite certain ones of us. If you found your way here, you are ready for the messages. Your soul has brought you into this space. You are meant to be here. What invitation only means is the records are only going to give you what you are ready to receive. How do they know what you're ready to receive? You ask the question. Okay. There is nuance in the process of asking questions, though. Don't worry about that right now. Just light up my chat box with questions, and we'll talk about refining the questions to get the best answers as we go through. All right. I am going to ask the records and the guides to bring my awareness to the questions that are going to serve the collective here today. But I want to encourage you to don't get bummed out if I don't answer your question live. I tend to come back when I have time and make sure that I dive into these questions and get you as many answers as possible. But even if the answer doesn't come through me, just your posing of the question will bring through the intelligence in your life. It'll be your job to pay attention and find that resonance, hear that resonance, notice that resonance, maybe I should say, within yourself when the answer does come through. All right. If I'm answering somebody else's question and that intelligence feels alive in your field, meaning you feel energy moving inside of your body, that is a transmission, that is a healing for you. You can receive it as if it were yours. And there will be certain things that we talk about today where you're going to feel that transmission. You're going to feel the energy moving in your body, but you're also going to feel like you need to do something about it. This is an activation of your DNA. Okay. All right, you guys ready to play? Let's go. Oh, one more thing I'm going to tell you. In addition to channeling an insight about your questions, I also want to bring through a specific healing from the Akashic Records today. So we're going to get healed in at least 3 areas. I get through at least 3 questions talking here today. Oh, let me just share some really quick announcements with you. I'm going to be on the John Burgos show tonight, the Beyond the Ordinary show. If you are a regular follower here, you know how near and dear John is to my heart as a colleague and a friend and a mentor during that self-study phase I was talking about, where I'm just absorbing as much information as I can get my hands on. Definitely was a groupie of the Beyond the Ordinary show. I listened to every single person that he brought on. So it feels special and really alive for me to come on and be someone sharing on that platform. And then next week, I'm going to be traveling to Tampa, part of the 2024 Full Disclosure Conference happening at the Serrata Resort. If you want to know more about tickets, you can get live tickets and virtual tickets. You can just reach out to me and I will hook you up. All right, let's rock and roll with some questions here. Anamona, thank you for telling me that I rock. I received that. Manuel says hello to everyone from Florida. Manny in the house. Okay, Gail says, I totally understand what you are going through. Strike and my marriage has fallen apart. I feel very lost at this time. Definitely need some help. You got it, Gail. And I've seen you here for several bits. Are you the Gail that signed up for the program recently? Because if so, I called you. You didn't call me back. And if you're a different Gail, sorry. All right, so let's tap in. Who all is feeling challenges, strains in your current relationships? How many of you? Oops, sorry, Staples. That was Staples just letting me know that my really cool postcards that I created for Full Disclosure now are done. But I gotta call you back, Jasper. Jasper at the Reno Staples, love that guy. Okay, back to healing our shit here, guys. All right, how many of you are experiencing relationship challenge right now? You're feeling lost. Lots of things are shifting and changing. Okay. All right. Let me tap in here and see what the guides want to bring through, Gail. Okay. First of all, the guides are talking about change and how we deal with change. Gail, specifically, the guides are talking about perspective shift, changing the story around change so you feel more comfortable and safer going through changes. Right now, that wasn't you. Okay, but you want to, but your finances aren't good. Let's bring some shift. All right, finances are connected to our ability to source and resource. They're also connected to, I'll say, manipulations in the human genome code that cause us to create attachments to suffering. If you resonate with that, say amen or something. We're gonna work on clearing that in the field right now. Attachments to suffering. Okay. Finances also represent a love relationship, right? You gotta love money to be able to bring it into your life, and a lot of us, well, we got some bad blood and some past places where we're still pissed off a little bit of money, or we're ashamed to step into what we want and what we want to claim. Okay. So let's just take a moment now. If anyone wants to clear those negative money thought forms that are not representative of our ability to divinely source and resource in all moments, give me a yes. Cool. Okay, so if you are experiencing a lot of shift and change in your life right now, first thing that the guides want to say is, good, this is what your success looks like. Embrace the change. We can learn to change and shift with love and compassion. And there are so many people going through shifts right now. I went through one several years ago. I have a lot of my clients going through them right now. And how we go through these shifts and how we can show up and stay in our truth, and sometimes our truth, it's hot and it's fiery and it's raw and it's untamed, it's unhealed. It's really tough to go through change when we've got all of that in us. But when we heal it and we say, I'm going to embrace the change, I'm going to embrace this opportunity to heal, I'm going to remember that as bad as it feels right now, this is showing me how much potential. All right, remember the seven hermetic pendulums. The seven hermetic principles, I'm tapping into specifically the principle of opposites that shows us the polar swings of the pendulum will swing as far in one direction as it does in the other. And what you're seeing playing out in your physical reality is just here to teach you and to show you. It's the map, okay? So we've got to flip our perspective and really embrace that change. If you do not feel safe in changes, one, it's childhood stuff, which a lot of us have. And I say childhood, actually, I mean, it goes back even more ancestral than that. We're starseeds here on a very big, important mission. And it's dangerous out there, y'all. Earth's go hard. It's hard. We messed it up a lot of times before too. We get to learn. We're learning now. We are at a point, astrologically speaking, where there is such an incredible convergence and alignment that we have the opportunity to draw on our wisdom from all of our other incarnations, lifetimes, your past experiences in this lifetime. Okay? So lack of safety can have to do with our childhood issues, but if we trace it back even more ancestrally, there are a lot of reasons why we can feel unsafe. But when you learn to trust yourself and you learn how to work the matrix, it's hard until it's easy. Y'all, here's how you work the matrix. You wake up to see what is unseen about your own shit, your own pattern, your own traumas. You take responsibility. You step back into your power. And then you start playing the game at a really high level. What do I want to create? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? Is she giving the answers? Okay, I'm going to take that as I might be rambling just a little too much. All right, so let me tie this all together though for you. Here's what the answer is. If you're noticing a lot of change in your life right now, here's the place to work. Work on feeling safe, embracing change, because that's what's going to relax your nervous system and allow you to see what is unseen. If you go into it with the perspective of here we go again, the impact of that of here we go again is going to get you all of the same things in all of the areas of your life that you got before. All right. So you've got to, at your foundation, shift your vibrational frequency. So the way that you're processing the shift and change is different. We're all going to be going through shift and change, by the way. All right. Is this making sense? Does this help? Does that help? All right. Let me know if that helps. Send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. All right. So for those of us who want to work at our highest potential with the shifts and the changes that are available for us right now, we're going to do an activation in the root chakra. Root is at the base of your spine. Okay. It's red in color. Thank you guys. Thank you for being patient while I riff. Come back in here with y'all. Okay. Focus all consciousness at the base of your spine. This is your root chakra. This is where you allow yourself to feel the safety and security. Okay. And I want you to imagine that red color, vibrant red color. And when this chakra is balanced and harmonized, you're going to notice that nice, vibrant, red, slightly wineish color. It's got some richness to it, color coming through. And the size of this chakra is, you can think about the size of a tennis ball. And when you put all of your attention, all of your awareness on a particular point in your body, you're converging your awareness, putting all of your attention on that someplace, what happens is you will activate the innate intelligence or awareness in that body center. Okay? Say yes in the comments if you are receiving this root chakra activation. All right, we'll keep going. Keon, hi Emily, wondering how my home family life may be panning out over the next 6 months. Seems to be hidden court issues or unspoken truths. Thank you. Just honoring again this challenge that's coming through for so many of us, but in different ways, of really speaking our truth in our families, and calling forward disclosure in all areas. All right. So Keon, thank you. I just want to honor that family shifts and changes. challenging. Thank you for showing up and doing the work on this level. All right, so here's what the guides want to say. The current problem and challenge that is being experienced in so many families that's leading to court situations like this is the current paradigms of what relationships look like and how we've defined them aren't supporting the highest evolution of our planet. All right, so most people go into relationships not super clear on what they want or what's going to happen. It's just like let's see where this is going. This feels pretty good. Let's see where this is going, right? And Kian, what the guides are saying is what you're actually experiencing here is the replication of that pattern of exiting that relationship with the same levels of uncertainty that were entered into it. And this is just a symptom of what happens rippling in society, rippling for like the ripple effects forward of when we continue to go into relationships in this manner. Okay. Gabrielle, I see your question there on Instagram. How can I get rid of feeling fear? Yeah, and at the essence and core of all the transformation that we're all going through, whether it's your family or whether it is your job or finances, fear really comes into play. Safety is a great antidote to fear. So I'm glad you were here to work in the root chakra with us. Okay. Root chakra also restabilizes patterns. All right. Shifts everything. Right now, you guys want to work with me? You want to do a little collective work together and hold space for the shift and the wisdom that we need to understand family units and dynamics and relationships and how to do this differently and better. Okay. If you want to work with me in that, say yes. All right, the guides are, I love how the energy builds. Okay, so we're going to go up one chakra now, which is the sacral chakra. We worked a few minutes ago on the root chakra. We're going to work in the sacral now. Sacral, this is your womb area for women, reproductive organs for men. This is where your sexual energy, your creative energy, your life force energy, very important energy that we need here on the planet. Okay, this is where this energy radiates from in your body. If you have trauma or this chakra is not balanced or regulated, what happens is we store emotions, like our stored emotions that we haven't processed yet, that we don't want to process, that we want to run from. Like I said, I was running from some unprocessed trauma in my marriage. I didn't want to face it. So we stuff it. We stuff it into the sacral chakra. So we want to work in this area. Let's see, this is my right hand. I've got my right hand on the front and my left hand on my back body, just holding myself in the womb area. That's very weird. Oh my gosh, you guys. Anybody knows Opus Clips, Opus Pro out there, where you get like little short clips of your long form content? Dude, I'm going to end up with an Opus Pro that says I'm holding my womb. All right, nice deep breaths. And you know what I am, Opus? I am. I also feel the circular energy moving through my body, just activating a vortex. Follow however the energy is flowing in your body. Remember, when we bring consciousness into an area of our body, we're activating innate wisdom. Okay, on the count of 3, I want you to pull your hands away from your body as if you are pulling out any unprocessed, any dense energy, any ancestral energy. In 3, 2, 1, now pull out into a bucket of salt water. Yes, that's right. You just imagine this, you a bucket of salt water right there, and you just throw it in. That would be how you do it. All right. Woo, say yes. See if you feel clearer in those bottom 2 chakras. I have a feeling, and I already know that the guides are where they're going to go next. We're definitely going to be working solar plexus next. Makes sense because we're stepping into the Lion's Gate energy, our personal power. And our lower 3 chakras are the 3 chakras that keep us connected to the planet and how we interact and move through our everyday life. It all has to do with our survival, our life force energy, our creativity, and then our personal power. So see how that works? Cool. Okay, let me see if I can grab a question here from Instagram. Definitely need my glasses for this one. Gabriel also says, and how can I stop repeating those cycles in relationships? Mom is here. Say hi to my mom, everybody. Mom is here. Let's see what else. I'm gonna answer that, Gabriel. Thank you for being patient as I'm answering your questions, kind of woven into some other questions here. I am Tina and crazy. I feel like I'm blocked from accessing the Akashic Records. I practice meditation, self-hypnosis regularly, and I fall asleep or just see a purple haze. Well, try my method. Anybody out there tried my method? I don't know if there's anybody out there. Well, I know my mom has tried my method. Who has had challenges with other methods and you fall asleep. I actually was so bored sometimes with my own Akashic Records training. I mean, when I was being trained, I fell asleep in class sometimes too. And sometimes so did my friends who were studying with me. When I say friends, I didn't know these people before we started, but oh yeah, you develop a deep soul bond in relationship with people you move through this process with. And so that's definitely something that was important in my lineage, my training. When I learned how to do this, I didn't want to just read Akashic Records for people. I wanted to teach people how to do this. So I created a course that's fun and lively, and handle all that for you. Which, by the way, I do want to share with you all that we are still running the special. You can get it. This will be the last week that I'm going to tell you about it. We're going to talk about it. Okay. And it is for 30% off of our self-study training. And if you want to take advantage of that, I want you to use code F2B. That's F, the number F is in Frank, 2, like the number 2, B is in boy, 30 at checkout. If you are joining us on StreamYard, I pinned comments. I think I pinned them, put a little star by them or something. If you are joining on Instagram, after the broadcast, you're going to want to go to my link tree and you will find a link for the self-study. Okay. And make sure you use that code F2B30. All right. So let's go back and talk about like, how do we actually break patterns? You guys want to know that? How do you actually break cycles and patterns? Ooh, Gio, you got a good question. We're going to get to that. Okay. All right. So if you want to learn how to break your patterns, let me know. How do we shift a pattern? I spoke on this one time. I did a whole talk on it. I just want to tap in and see what if the records want to share any pieces of that or something new. So let me just tap in. First of all, the guides are honoring how smart you guys are to recognize the importance of changing patterns, right? Because we have a lot of financial low patterns right now, right? We got a lot of relationship challenge patterns right now. You're smart to want to shift a pattern because patterns replicate themselves. They replicate themselves forward and backward. Okay. So we want to get in there and know how to shift them. In order to shift them, you need a pattern interrupt, something that interrupts that pattern. So what the guides are saying is that to keep this really simple is you got to learn how to think about all the problems. Every pattern that you're in, or you feel like it's a repetitive challenge, you've got to learn to think about this problem differently. Okay, let me channel some questions in, for example, of how you can begin to think about this differently. An easy one that works for any situation. What is this situation trying to teach me? Help me see what is unseen. That's a good one, right? Here's another really good one. And this one comes from my friend Lizanne Valentin, who also works in her Akashic Records. Sometimes she's here. I don't see her here today. But Lisanne has a really great question. How is this playing a part in my divine plan? Right? If you find yourself in repetitive narcissistic relationships, great question. Why do I keep attracting this? What can I learn? And another great question, how is this repetitive cycle and me learning all these lessons about narcissists, how is this playing a part in my bigger plan? Okay. And truly, that was where I got at the end of this keynote speech in terms of how do you change a pattern? You simply ask yourself different questions about the pattern. Cool? Does that make sense? All right, the guides want to do that third activation in the solar plexus, your inner sun. I'm sorry, guys. I think I forgot to tell you that the sacral is orange in color. Your chakras follow, if you're new to your chakras, they're going to follow the colors of the rainbow, Rory G. Biv, as we go up. So red, orange, yellow, all of your lower chakras are about the size of a tennis ball. Okay, once you get to your heart, we grow to about the size of a grapefruit. But this is a great way that you can tune and harmonize your chakras. Is just put your attention on them and know what color and approximately about how big they are. Just hold your awareness there. All right, so we're moving up to solar plexus now. Solar plexus is about 2 inches above your belly button. This allows you to tap into more courage and more personal power, which we need. We need this on the journey. We need the courage to see ourselves differently. We need the courage to have the bravery to ask different questions. Robin Spicer, glad you're here. Good, nice deep fluid breaths, activating the solar plexus, activating our courage. Courage to see what is unseen. Grants me the courage to see what is unseen, to see the truth as it is revealed for my highest good. Okay, that comes from the lineage of training that I might have fell asleep in. Now, I loved Linda Howe. I trained under the lineage of Linda Howe, specifically with Barbara. Of course, I'm forgetting Barbara's name live on the air. She doesn't watch me anyway, so I know she's not here. And she's also a famous screenwriter. I cannot remember Barbara's name. Don't tell her if you know her. But her stories were excellent. I loved the stories that Barbara would tell. It was just that process, teaching someone else's process, Linda Howe's process. I needed something a little bit different. And what's really cool is when I recognized it and I recognized I wanted to teach, I had an option of becoming a certified teacher under that lineage and felt my guides really encouraging me to explore, be open, be brave. And I said, all right, well, I can't teach that method. How do you want me to teach people to go into the records? And they gave me a beautiful, unique process. I didn't even understand how powerful it was or where all the pieces came from when I first started using it. I understand a lot more now, which is pretty cool. But give it a try if you're feeling like you're ready to rock and roll in your records. Come give it a try. All right, let's get down to G's question here. Hi, Em. I would appreciate your insights on my pregnancy, and I give my permission. I'm in a challenging situation. The baby having a high risk for a genetic disorder. Is this like a soul contract? 100% yes. Let me just tap in. All right, you definitely have a wise Jedi being coming in. And this Jedi being is coming in soul contract to work with you to co-create a new ancestral lineage, a new timeline moving forward that is not replicating the genetic codes from the past, but calling in the galactic activations, the galactic DNA for your family, which is I'm not saying that it's not happening in other places in the world, but I personally have never seen this come through. Gee, so kind of cool. And I'm also feeling like victory, victory, victory. Your victory is certain. Your victory is certain. And it's interesting there. They're like really in on the letter V in that name. I don't know if you've considered a V name or like really what that is, but it feels like it has more of a connection than just victory. All right. Blessings on you, G. And every single one of you out there who is showing up and doing the work. If this has served you, I'm going to ask you to share this out, because the more and more of us that wake up to our higher mind and begin to clear our density, take responsibility for our patterns and shift them, do this. It's really fun work. It's a fun time to be here. The more and more of us that do this on the planet, the better we get at it, the faster it happens for everybody, the easier it becomes. And the sooner we start truly unlocking our power, right? You have the power to create beyond your wildest dreams. We have the power of telekinesis, teleportation, self-healing. It's a fun time to be here and to be waking up to the truth of who we are. And it's my pleasure to be someone to remind you of this bigger story and invite you into that world of wonderment, where you really can tap in and have meaning and guidance and clarity in every moment of your life. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you back here again.